Hello and welcome back to Idle Stand Nation. It's been a minute since I've been here, definitely, but today we definitely have a few bangers.
Yeah, we just switched Jihoon out for Nick this time, you know.
Yeah, we just figured we were trading places, so yeah, today you got me to deal with. Now, while you got me to deal with, we were also dealing with a lot of songs.
Right.
As per the usual.
We are up to 414 songs that we've listened to as the three of us so far, and it hasn't been a full half year yet.
Yeah, it hasn't been a full half year yet. So, and what he means is, we listen to and select songs for topics to talk about for you guys, right, and with you guys. And a lot of the songs that we listen to, we just don't even post because it might have been something that we talked about recently, or especially ballads. Sorry for all you ballad lovers out there, but ballads don't really change a whole lot oftentimes. We have a few that come through and really surprise us, but yeah, so we don't even post all of them. We've probably individually listened to a ton of songs,
right?
Definitely over 500 just this year alone. So yeah, with that, let's get into a new debut for a group,
right?
So this group is called LIGHTSUM with their song Vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
And LIGHTSUM has a member that was actually on the unit, which is Juhyun.
Mm-hmm.
And she was actually one of the top dancers in the unit. And she was super young. I think she was 14 when she entered the unit.
And that was how many years ago?
Oh man, I don't even know. I remember I watched the unit because SIS was on it. And she actually really impressed me, caught my attention.
Mm-hmm. And then we also got two members from PD48 with Cho-won and Na-young as well.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So, jumping right into into the song. So we get that super poppy intro. You could see all the really vibrant colors right off the bat. We talked about, especially on our bingo board as well, we talked about that cute concept and how girl groups don't really debut with that kind of cute concept anymore.
Right.
Here, LIGHTSUM has decided to prove us wrong, of course. And this is definitely a very cutesy concept. Actually, it's very similar to Twice's later stage, the TT or fancy type of era.
Yeah, it's nice. Honestly, what's most surprising though is that it's coming from Cube.
yeah, true.
Because Cube is more for we've known him for 4 minute and
CLC G-Idol.
So it's LIGHTSUM. It definitely not fully in the same realm, but you can also hear Cube's influence on the group as well.
Yeah, 100%. One thing I actually really found interesting about the song is that it's the electronica aspects of this song. Those really electric synths they put in. Those really surprised me. I did not expect as much to see something like that, especially in a cute concept. But it worked really well.
Yeah. And how they utilize it to kind of ease and transition throughout the music to keep it pretty much fresh. I mean, it's already, the concept isn't fresh because the other groups have done it, but it's fresh,
right,
in a sense where you're not consistently bored and you're consistently experiencing a different side of the group consistently, and I think that's really well established.
Right, yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, I also found the dance break really cool, and how they incorporated the dancing into the music video. I find that I feel like it had a little more dancing than we usually see. From music videos, especially on debut. Usually they're focusing on aesthetics.
Yeah.
But I feel like this was a really solid balance. I mean, they showcased the ability of the group to dance while also, and like perform in general, while also being able to, like keep the aesthetic of like those pastel, vibrant colors and stuff like that.
Yeah, it really just did such a good job, displaying everyone, honestly, like because. Like, the members are also very charismatic. We've said it before, like, Gen 4 groups are coming out so charismatic. And despite this being, like, a very cute, like, concept, they're so charismatic in the same way. And right. It works so well. Like, it brings out them being cute, but also brings out them being charismatic. And, you know, it's really well seen, and that's something that I think cube artists really do well in, is being charismatic in their music videos.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that before, especially with CLC and G-Idol. You know, both are very charismatic groups, and both are very confident in what they're doing. What I really like here is they kept the soundstage very wide and open.
Right.
But it wasn't so open to the point where I thought it was like performed on a stage. I really liked where they spaced the soundstage and how it felt like when they went into like the bridge, how it felt very personal. And then they just reopened that soundstage. Like, not a lot of groups can just do that.
Right.
Just play with the soundstage like that. And we haven't actually talked about that a lot as well, playing with the soundstage, closing and opening it. We've talked about the soundstage quite a lot before.
Right.
But we've never talked about it quite this way, where they can just kind of change it effortlessly.
I think we've talked about it maybe once or twice, but then again, that's also when like it was with solo artists as well. Because I think it's because they have so much more of a free range to control that kind of situation. Whereas when we're talking about groups, it's not as easily done.
Right. Yep. I was actually super impressed, and it's super catchy. The song is extremely catchy. Yeah. Which I think also is what kind of lends it to that cute concept. And we've seen that before with groups doing cute concepts. They just adhere to the catchiness because it works. It matches very well in concept.
Yeah, it's so well done, and it's also plays into like the fun of being young, because we'll again. Well, you haven't been here for the last however many episodes. True. But Jihoon and I have been talking about, like, it's summer. It's starting to get into the times where it should be fun.
Yeah.
I think the last time I've seen something cute and fun from Cube is with, I think, Soyeon, before she debuted in G-Idol. And this kind of reminds me of that, and it's so, and I'd honestly would really like to see LIGHTSUM continue this kind of concept, just because it changes.
I think also because they're so young, it fits them super well.
Yeah.
So, really, definitely, I'm really excited to see what they come out with next. I'm not gonna call myself a stan quite yet.
Yeah.
But definitely following the group very closely.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see how they grow and see how they develop their vocals, whether they can develop their concept even further, and see, like, are they going to go with maybe Cube's usual concept with the whole girl crush, or maybe if they're going to incorporate bits and pieces as they grow older and as they further their career. That would be such an interesting way to see things.
Definitely excited for the future for them. I'm sure we referenced this group a little bit about their early years, but I'm sure you're much more excited to go into the next one.
100%. So This next one is something that I've reacted to as well. It's going to be Twice's Alcohol Free. And I'm gonna say I love this music video. And I thought you froze on the screen for a second. I'm like, did Nick just completely freeze? I'm like, but yeah. And I will stick by what I said before. I do not like this one part from the music video. The whisper of JYP. That
Come on, that's clearly the best part of the song. You don't like JYP in your ear?
No.
JYP ASMR when?
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm here for when it comes to this music video. I'm here for Twice, not JYP. Okay.
All right. Well, let's be honest. We know JYP's basically a member of Twice.
You mean every group that he's produced?
True.
He's the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 101th member of any group he produces. Okay.
True. So, definitely a surprise was the very Caribbean feel to this song. Just in general, it's almost bordering, like it's definitely Caribbean, but it could almost also, like, it has aspects of others. So obviously Caribbean also has Latin influence. That's where part of that influence came from.
Okay.
But it also shares influence with a lot of the parts of the world. You have some Pacific Islander themes that kind of contributed to the Caribbean kind of vibe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, like, you have Caribbean is such a, like, the Caribbean feel is such a unique genre in and of itself. So we have subgenres of everything, right? Moombahton, for example, is a subgenre of, like, reggaeton, and reggaeton's obviously a subgenre of a mixture of genres. Right. But Caribbean is kind of like, it used to be a subgenre, but I feel like it's more like its own music genre at this point.
Right.
Because it's not 100% or like even really 50% attributed to any influence anymore. It's like an acceptance of, like, a ton of music genres culminated into one.
Yeah.
But I think they did a really good job emulating that Caribbean feel, especially with the MV to go along with it. Yeah,
because, like, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like, I think that I heard, like, conga drums throughout the music video. Because it definitely feels like almost something like you kind of want to move your hips to, like, if you're doing samba. I could very much be wrong, but I also can't move my hips as well either. I just feel cracks and whatever.
Well, that's what happens when you're born in the Han Dynasty. You miss my jokes. You gotta know.
Yeah. I missed you these last couple of weeks. I missed your insults. Okay.
See, we know. Yeah. So I was definitely very, very intrigued from the start. One thing I didn't entirely like is the funk elements they employed. I wish they would have employed either more or less elements. Like, they chose kind of a weird mixture of funk and Caribbean, and it's not that it hasn't been done before. It's just that it gives it a kind of weird flow that we really haven't, like. It gives it a weird flow, especially for the type of song that they were going for. I think they employed the funk aspects to reinforce the Caribbean vibe, but also to give it a kind of new feel.
Right.
Because that kind of beat can get tiresome over the course of 3.5-4 minutes, right? So I think they tried to, like, basically spice it up with the like funk elements, but I think they should have either went to a song transition or went to having the funk support the Caribbean theme, not, like, be 50-50 almost.
I do see where you're coming with that, because I feel like that they should have gone a little bit more full send with the Caribbean feel, especially because, you know, the song does mention several adult beverages throughout the song. Some of which I would like to drink sometime soon. But, you know, having it go a little bit more into the Caribbean feel, because, you know, we don't get a whole lot of songs that give that Caribbean feel as well.
Right.
So seeing a group that does go full send or mostly send into something like that without incorporating as much maybe funk or something, because I feel like using funk was a little bit of utilizing as a crutch almost, because funk has been used a little bit more, as we've seen lately through a lot of the songs that have been released. So I think it was utilizing it a little bit more of a crutch. So I do see where you're coming from.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that as well, K-pop has always been about fusions. You know, anything you can fuse together is gonna be better in the realm of K-pop, because it's gonna make you just a little different. You know, like we just talked about. You know, we've probably listened to, you know, over 500 songs just this year alone,
right?
And so everything kind of, you got to do something to be original. It's just when you're in the mindset of like you have to fuse to be original, sometimes it's more original to just not.
Right.
And I think they really missed the mark on that one. I mean, now don't get me wrong, what they did definitely made it stand out. And I do like the fact that we have a more Caribbean theme, because usually we get this very summery feel, but it's more like beach type of vibes.
Right.
But this is like full on Caribbean, a Caribbean feel.
Yeah.
A Caribbean emulation. But I wish they would have just stuck to their original plan and not felt like they had to do something to stand out. Especially when they're going to kind of a more unexplored genre inside of K-pop.
Yeah, that's unfortunately something I do find that going on with when it comes to JYP music videos, is that JYP likes to play it a little bit more safer when it comes to their artists, and try to, if they're going to deviate from like the usual, they're going to have a way to connect to the usual, just so they're playing it safe.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I love this music video. I think like it was beautifully done. But I do see where you're coming from, and I do see that, you know, like there are some things that Twice could have done. Well, not the composition of this music video for Twice could have done that could have helped improve the music video.
Right.
Vocally, I loved it. I still really loved it. The girls' vocals, I think, very much fit this kind of music video as well.
And I mean, it's not the first time as well that they've done a like summer themed song. We had Dance the Night Away, which was very summer themed. Oh yeah. And they did that perfectly well as well. And I mean, they're very skilled singers. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not surprised that they could pull off something like this, where, you know, it's more unexplored territory. In the realm of K-pop and what they've done. Right. I just wish that their producers maybe would have worked the song around a little bit differently, and that's probably my constructive criticism here.
Which is very valid, you know. I think that's very valid, but I will say, Chaeyoung's hair looks absolutely gorgeous.
Facts.
Like that
Facts. She killed that.
Pink was chef's kiss.
Yeah, she killed that. Yep. She said that's a weird hair color, but I'm slaying it.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. All right. Should we move it on to the next music video, or is there anything else?
Let's do it. Let's move it on.
Would you like to introduce it, good sir?
Of course I would. So, we've talked about this artist before. She's a regular visitor of this channel. This is Seori with The Long Night, featuring Giddy Boy. And, man. So, we've talked about Seori before. If you don't know who Seori is, shame on you.
Listen, watch his stuff. It is absolutely...
You gotta watch Seori's stuff. Because, honestly, her voice is so incredible. Seori is a this is not how should I put this? This is not a stray off of her usual style. Seori is a very regular visitor of R&B. I would actually be more inclined to say that's her main style. But here, while it is R&B, we also have a little bit of like lo-fi elements,
right?
Which is something that we don't hear from her too often, especially at the start when we had that acoustic guitar that you could tell had been modified with a filter to seem more lo-fi. It was super cool to see something like that. I also really like the start of the song here. How they just kind of intro every instrument slowly.
It's how should I say this? The ease into it just makes the build up throughout the song just so calming. It's not always completely in your face, but it's to the point where it's like, I'm chill. I can vibe to this.
Yeah. One thing I really like about Seori's music especially is that no matter what season it is, it always seems to work. Like, when I was listening to this, I was like, yeah, this could be a summer song. Like,
right.
You know, but it's like more like a nighttime summer song. But when she was releasing her stuff in the winter, I was like, yeah, this is like a winter song. Like, she fits every season so well.
Right.
Also, I think her choice to include Giddy Boy on this track was so smart.
The contrast was very nice.
Yeah, between her like silky smooth voice and the slight, and I mean really slight amount of rasp in his voice. It was such a good contrast, but also his voice is so smooth as well. You know, he has a really good flow for this song.
And adding the auto tune to his raspy voice versus her kind of almost calming lo-fi-esque voice just added such an interesting contrast, and it harmonized. I don't know if I'm using that word right, but it feels like it harmonized fairly well. Because it kept things going, and you're not thinking, okay, I'm about to fall asleep because of how calming Seori's voice is. We got Giddy Boy coming in and perking you up a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. And I also really liked after they had already introduced Giddy Boy, where they were like playing off of each other. I really love when especially featured artists do that with the main artist on the track. Because I feel like it's not just like, oh, here's your allotted time slot, do something, you know? Like, I feel like it's an actual, like, song at that point.
It feels like almost a conversation as well. It's not like, oh, here's one, maybe two lines for you to sing about. But it's a conversation between artists where they go back and forth. And it works really well.
Yeah. It's super cool because Seori has almost like this entrancing kind of voice, you know, where you just want to sit and like be zoned out and listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
And then like before you know it, you've listened to the song 3 times over and it's like, wow, 10 minutes have passed.
Look, when it came to this song, her other song, Love Is in the Night, like I've listened to those two songs countless times already and absolutely love them all.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, one of the last ones we talked about was Trigger, and Trigger was amazing.
Yeah,
I actually still have that in my playlist, just because of like how it's weird because it's not calming, but it kind of is at the same time. So definitely a big recommendation for me if you haven't listened to any of Seori's music.
Just listen to her entire discography at this point, okay?
Honestly, true. Honestly, true. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Man,
she is an amazing artist, and like even if not just vocally but visually, like her music videos are so beautiful. Like a lot of them do take place at night, or take a darker scene is something that I have noticed with her music videos. But they are so artistic in different ways. Like with this one, it uses a lot of movements, a lot of her, and I'm guessing the dude is Giddy Boy, but I could be very much wrong.
Yeah.
But how she utilizes herself and everybody to tell a story, to invoke emotion, like that longing in her look, like it makes you sympathize with it. It makes you want to understand more of her throughout the story. But then if you look into her eyes, it's almost mystifying. She creates such an atmosphere as you watch her throughout the music video. Like she does such a good job of that in every music video she does. But especially with this, like that the longing that she creates, the atmosphere that she creates for the longing, it works so well.
Yeah, it's amazing. Also, like the amount of times that she references like the night, and in the lyrics, especially saying like I hate the night because then they can see you, or the moon could see you all night. Like stuff like that is, I wouldn't say it's relatable for everyone, but I would say that like it's easily understandable.
Right.
And having lyrics like that are easy to understand is something that Seori's been very good at, that we've seen. Regardless if the MV is complex or not. It's like in Trigger, the MV was very complex.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of lore hidden behind the MV. I mean, I'm sure if I sat down, I could come up with theory on theory based on the MV. But needless to say, her lyrics were not overly complex. They were not hard to understand.
Right.
And I think that like in Trigger, it made a very good contrast. And we're here, it plays very well with the MV.
I mean, we've said it before. Simplicity can sometimes be the best thing about a music video. And I think being able to simply relate to the music video is what we can all very much attribute to, We've all felt sad. We've all felt lonely. We've all had those long nights where we long for someone. And so it's very much relatable. I've also listened to it this entire time that we've been talking, and it's just so beautiful.
If I didn't listen to the songs as we were talking about them, I just continue to listen to this one like on repeat. Because it's a perfect, like, if you have it playing low, like it's not going to trip you up on your words. You're not going to be paying too much attention to it. It's a great background song.
And it's also a great
but also, if you want to sit down and listen to it,
it's a great active listening song as well.
Yeah.
I think any of her songs have been great active listening, or like listening to the background.
And her voice really is a big attribution to that. Because her voice is just, it's almost like floaty, and so it plays really well with background music or background noise especially. So
yeah. So
but
go ahead.
As far as that goes, that was it. Definitely check out Seori.
Oh yeah.
I could not give a bigger recommendation. Next on our list, though.
Right. So I'll introduce this one. This is OuiOui with Scaredy Cat. This is a performance video of theirs for one of their B-side tracks. That was paired with their other music video that was released 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, Purple. So,
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so, a big thing about Scaredy Cat, obviously, it still is projecting that kind of cute nature. It's very similar to other groups that we've seen lately, such as Weekly. It's the same kind of. It's very cute without leaving the innocence basically behind, and just going more full send into that kind of cute nature. With something like a performance video, I know there's not a whole lot for you to talk on MV wise because they're.
I mean, it's dancing, which it's very cute dance, and the usage of lights and camera angles. But other than that, it's very much of a I wouldn't say a complicated dance, but I also wouldn't say it's an easy dance because I can't dance at all, so every dance is gonna be difficult for me.
Right.
But
yeah, I also really like just kind of how this song flows. Like I didn't feel like it was forced or anything like extreme. I will say it was funny. The outfits kind of reminded me of 4 Minutes Hate a little bit. Yeah, so 4 Minutes Hate, I'm pretty sure they were in white jumpsuits instead, but they had like the bandanas and the red accents and stuff like that. That really just kind of reminded me of that. It was funny because it threw me off at first.
For me, it reminded me of Carter with Mister.
Yeah. It's funny. It was just funny for me because the music definitely, obviously, it is in 4 minute. It isn't anything like 4 minute would do. But it was funny because the outfits reminded me of that. I also really like the choreo. I think the choreo is very well like mapped to the song. We've seen this choreo very like this American influenced choreography, a lot more recently in K-pop, especially with like I said before, especially with groups like Weekly. Weekly is a big user of American influenced choreography, but I think that works very well, especially if OuiOui is trying to promote towards the American market, which I mean, like what K-pop group isn't, but yeah, I think also they work together very well.
I'm not going to say that they're going to. It's like the best in sync music dance out there, because we've definitely seen groups that have done extremely well. G-Fan being one of them. Like they've been praised.
Groups that are like scarily in sync.
But I think for a rookie group, this is really well done and definitely shows like we've said it before. Fourth gen is just on another level. They are trained to do extremely well, whether it be dance, vocally, or whatever.
Yeah. Fourth gen right now is just they're proving that they've learned, and that the companies as well have learned from third gen, and improved their techniques over the course of third gen. I mean, fourth gen really hits different. Like third gen, I mean, back then, if you had a few slip ups in like the MV or like the first stage performance, that was kind of just normal.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love those mistakes. Obviously not if they get injured, but if they do like a cute mistake here and there, it was nice to watch sometimes. Sometimes hilarious.
I mean, it also really just kind of reinforces that idols, they are human. They're not perfect like robots.
Exactly.
But with fourth gen, like those mistakes just are gone. Like even their first like stage performance is almost perfect.
I mean, I can definitely see if maybe there may be a fan cam here and there that we might not have seen where they make mistakes, and I think that's just fine, you know.
But as a general rule, 4th gen is definitely really improved on 3rd gen, and OuiOui right here is proving that. I really enjoyed this song. I highly recommend it. I think it's really, I think they're also really showcase their vocal skill here. So, with that, do you think we should go on to the next one?
Let's do it.
Or you got more to say?
I think that's about it. Unless you want me to talk about colors of the background, but you know, it's very bright colors that they used that helped fit the whole like cutesy like aesthetic. But you know, you could very much utilize that kind of. It wasn't moving fast and it flowed really well, where it didn't distract. But you know, that's really it. You know, the girl, it's you mainly focus on the dance and the girl's vocals. That's what you're supposed to do for a performance video, and you know, this music video did so well doing that. There's nothing more to say, like. But you know, this is a really good showing from Purple, you know, because Purple had a very different kind of feel, and this B-side track shows, okay, there are other sides to OuiOui, and people should listen to them. Go listen to them. You know what? Listen to me. Listen to OuiOui.
Yeah, so this next one, do you want to bring it in?
So this is technically a debut of so this is BM's first solo debut with Broken Me. And it is not something I would expect from BM to be.
Really?
Yeah. Just because of his personality. Like, you see him on Dive Studios, you see him on, like, V-Live. He's kind of, like, chaotic. So, seeing him kind of do something like this, like, as a debut, because I would have expected something more, like, fun, more chaotic.
See, I think what you're looking more towards is the Korean aspect of projection, right? Of like projecting your personality in the Korean aspect.
Right.
So this is super what this is really in right now, this style.
Right.
This is super in right now for American rap and hip hop.
Yeah.
Like this is what everyone is doing right now. Or what a lot of the main like people are doing right now.
Right.
And this just has a few more rock elements, but even that, there's people like Ian Dior who currently rap with rock elements.
Right.
And this whole like talking about how you feel and talking about your emotions is something that's really come more into the American like rap culture, especially with like XXXTentacion, and Juice WRLD. Ian Dior as well has contributed to that. Machine Gun Kelly. You know, they have all rapped about how they feel about and stuff like that, and that's really helped to promote that like it's okay to talk about your feelings kind of culture in America. So BM being, I would say, more American, it makes sense why he would go this route to me.
And you know, I'm not saying that being unexpected is bad. I'm just saying it's just not what I expected, and it's honestly really good, you know.
Yeah,
like the intensity and the usage of his vocals, you know, as well as him like rapping here and there, just is so good, you know.
Yeah, I think he also really used his voice, since it's on the deeper side. I think he really used that very well. Because if you have a deeper voice, using it as an instrument is almost commonplace. Right. And I think he did that really well. I think he projected his voice really well and used it as an instrument.
Oh yeah.
Especially in the chorus when he's saying like "I'm broken" and stuff like that. I understand why he did it, but I don't really like as much autotune as he put on.
I can see why he used autotune.
I understand it full and well too. I just wish he would have tuned it back maybe a little bit.
Like maybe 2-3 notches back.
Yeah, just so that way it didn't sound electronic. But I mean, again, that's a lot of personal preference. Right. So I know some people that would also be like, he probably should have turned up maybe a little bit more. You know, and that's kind of a stylistic choice. With autotune, and especially inside of rap, it's very hard to do it wrong. But I definitely really enjoy this song, especially because it is like a vibe, you know, and it's very easily relatable.
It invokes some sort of emotion that, you know, we've all, well, I'm pretty sure you me and Jihoon at least, and definitely other people who have felt like they're in a certain place, that they're broken, broken me, but yeah, broken in parts of their life, you know, where they don't know where they're going. I feel like it's especially when you're transitioning from certain aspects of your life, whether, you know, from school to work, from being a kid to teenager to adult, you know. There are aspects that we're going through in life, and, you know, we all experience it differently. We don't exactly, whether we're successful or not, you know, it's a big change.
Right. Yep. Yep. I definitely agree. 100%. So I mean, and it's also really, really good for him as an artist as well to vent these emotions as well. You know, using music as his outlet, because we've seen before what happens when idols don't get a chance to vent, and unfortunately, some idols had to make that point come very well across. And that shouldn't have happened, right? That shouldn't have needed to happen. But as sad as that might make us, you know, ultimately, at least that woke the government up to the fact that idols are humans. And now there are, you know, companies are taking steps to ensure that mental health is a serious topic among idols as well. We've seen, you know, from numerous groups, idols have taken steps back from the group for, you know, maybe a comeback or two, or maybe even 3, to focus on their mental health. And now that is becoming a commonplace thing, and I'm super happy that
100%.
Because before, idols were definitely treated more as robots that shouldn't feel anything, and they're not allowed to talk about their feelings. And that's so toxic.
Right.
So I'm super happy that now they're able to do this, because I mean, even 5 years ago, this would be BM's only way to outlet. Like, he wouldn't be able to take a step back from Card. He wouldn't be able to. I mean, he might not have been able to put out this song because it's talking about too many emotions. You know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. So we've really come a long way, but I think we still definitely have progress to make. And allowing idols to make songs like this, and allowing them to take a step back from the group, I think all of that is going to help us progress better.
And when it comes to this music video, I think the choice of resolution and usage of like the kind of camera was very important to help convey how BM is kind of in this music video. Because I don't know if you noticed, but they use a different kind of camera for this music video than other Card music videos. It feels like it's more of a almost like realistic, that he is right there. It is that realism that they create in it, you know. It helps you relate to it. It helps you to see more of the defined features of BM and focus more on him, I think helps to convey those emotions that you hear throughout the music video, the emotions that he's trying to invoke to every one of us, and that's a very artistic way to vent as well.
Yeah. 100%.
And I don't know if you noticed, but the like eyeliner or eyeshadow, I'm not good with makeup, but they utilize almost like a darker tone. They kind of put it on a little bit thicker than they usually do. I think was really well done as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm also like, because I know right now Card is not producing music, mostly because JSF is in the military. So at least I'm happy that like we are getting some music from them, and especially that BM's just allowed to vent these feelings. And I mean, he did an amazing job on this song. Like, he's incredible, to be honest. Of course, it is still BM. He still had to be shirtless.
I mean, him showing off his muscles, well,
it's mandatory
at this point.
It's required. Yeah, it wouldn't be a BM song if he wasn't shirtless.
I will say I am jealous of his muscle tone. I would very much wish I had the same muscle tone as he did, or he does.
Yeah, and I mean between the Vive Studios channel and the Card channel, he's got like almost 600,000 views, like 550,000 views. So it's actually doing pretty well. So super proud of him for only being out for 3 days. It's doing very well.
Yeah, 3 days as of this recording.
Yeah, so definitely super proud of him.
Yeah. Should we have our vote come through for best MV, or are we going to keep on stalling with a bunch of words while we try to decide? Because that's exactly what I'm doing right now, just continually talking while trying to figure out what I want to decide on.
Yeah, I feel like this is a really hard decision. All these songs are so great.
Oh yeah, we've got such an emotional range, such a range of feels, whether it's very artistic or very much like vocally well done. Like each one we've talked about, and each one that we haven't talked about too, they've got such a very unique feel to each one. And that's not to say it's not like that every week. But I feel like this is much more of a variety this week than we usually listen to.
Right, yeah. I definitely agree. Man. So I think I'm going to implore the literal definition of MV of the week to make my life easier.
Okay.
If it was Song of the Week, I would struggle a lot more. But WOA is technically not an MV.
Okay.
And that is me getting out of having to choose between WOA and Seori.
Okay.
So I'm gonna choose Seori.
All right.
The long night. It was so good. It was such a vibe. I definitely chickened out. I know that's what you're thinking, Aura. It's okay. I definitely chickened out, but because I could not decide.
It's honestly really good, and it had so much emotion. And I know I'm stalling, but but it is honestly really good. I'll actually have to agree. Seori is going to be my pick with The Long Night. It is such a vibe. The emotion she invokes, it feels like it's on a much more personal level. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Twice's Alcohol Free. It invokes and makes me want to go and have a mojito, and all those drinks, and it's a very fun song. And BM's was such an emotion invoking song. Lightsum, you know, had that nice like change of pace. And then Wua was a very fun performance song. And those were just the ones we've talked about, and those in itself were all strengths. But the personalization that Seori keeps on doing, and because she's done it on her own, and because BM, I still feel like as a soloist, he has more room to grow. As a soloist, but it does very much feel personal. But the Seori and the emotion she invokes is just too good. It's just too good. But
so we'll definitely have to get word back from Jihoon to find out if this is an ISN all kill.
Yeah.
But we may hope. You ready to move it on to
Let's
quick
do
shots? It. Quick shots with Aura.
Look, it's an even split. Shut up. Shut up. All right. So quick shots. So ISN were all big fans of Mamamoo. We do have slightly unfortunate news. You know, Yerin has decided to leave RBW, but she is still part of Mamamoo. So you know, you definitely hope to see some good things from her in the future, and definitely hope to see her to you know, continue doing Mamamoo things. Now she may not be doing all Mamamoo stuff. But she is going to be part, from what we've read in articles, that she will still continue to participate in Mamamoo things. Not everything, but still some. Because we still have Solar, Hwasa, and Moonbyul still part of RBW. We'll still see the three of them with RBW, but you know, Yerin has just decided to take another path after 10 years of being with RBW. So yeah, definitely looking forward to all of that with Yerin, wishing her the best of luck and all that. Yep. In other news, so when this episode comes out, which is going to be around the 18th, the day after, on Saturday, Sakura will graduate from HKT48. I will probably watch it. I will probably be crying, and yeah, it's going to be very emotional for me. I've already had my emotions after IZ*ONE disbanded. I'm gonna have more emotions when Sakura leaves HKT. You know.
Or a reaction?
No, I'm not reacting to. Yeah, no. I am not crying on camera again.
Oh, come on! I was gonna say you have.
I'm not doing it again. It's already emotional. I'm not crying at like 2 in the morning. 2, maybe 3 in the morning. Okay.
As you're recording.
just put like eyeliner just so I can get that extra effect of tears coming down my eyes.
Perfect. You know what's up.
But to some better news with Nick.
Yeah. So if you remember, if you watched PDX 101 or followed X1 afterwards, or know of Lee Sang, you would know he's a part of Brand New Music. Brand New Music is a company that is actually fairly big. It's got a ton of artists that we've talked about before, such as like AB6, Bumkey, Han Dong-gun, Yang Da-il, and so many more artists. But they are going to be launching a new boy group that features Lee Sang as well as one of the members. So super excited to see what comes with that. From what they said, it will be Brand New Music's first boy group with a large number of members. So I guess it's going to be a fairly big number of members. We don't know the exact numbers yet, nor the name of the group, but we expect to see and definitely hear a lot more information from them soon. They did say that the group's concept, number of members, name, narrative, and other details will be revealed one by one starting in the second half of this year. So that's coming potentially in as early as July. And so definitely we will have to see from there.
In the comments, put your predictions in the comments below.
Yes.
I'm going not as big as NCT. That's a
Wait,
not
what?
not as big as NCT like lineup.
No, it's definitely not as big as NCT. I'm gonna say it's probably 9 members.
I'll say 12.
Fair number.
Yeah.
Watch it be like 4.
or
We got
40
lied to.
or 40. You know, it could be a 40 member group for all we know.
Man, let's not. This is the exact reason that I'm not into AKB.
I mean, AKB is that's a. I mean, they're in the
100.
They are in the Guinness World Record of being the largest girl group ever.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be 40 members, but we'll have to see. Definitely put your guesses in the comment section down below, as well as what you think they might be named.
The bigger, the better.
We'd love to hear responses from
you guys. The bigger, the better. Somebody put like 1 million numbers.
We definitely love to hear your guys' comments as well. And who knows, maybe one of you guys are right. On to other news. Signature announced that Sun and Yeia will be departing from the group. If you don't know who Signature is, they used to be called Good Day. They were rebranded into Signature, and they've had a lot better success than they did with Good Day. But they were also under a new subsidiary of C9 called J9 Entertainment. And Sun and Yeia ended up leaving the group, which put them down to 5 members. Now they have announced the addition of 2 new members to bring them back to 7. The 2 new members are Chloe and Dohee. Chloe is they only gave like basic information such as their MBTI type and then also their birth date. So Chloe is was born in 2001 and Dohee's born in 2002. But definitely hope to see a lot from them in the future. So that will bring them actually back to 7 members, and they released like a profile photo and video for each of them. So definitely make sure you go check that out. Especially if you are a big Signature fan.
Give Signature some love. Give Signature some love. Wait, why aren't I included in that? I hate you.
You hate K-pop. So with that, unless we have any other news. All right. So with that, this has been Outstanding Nation. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell icon if you want to know when we upload in the future. Link to our socials will be in the description box down below, as well as our Patreon. If you want to consider giving back to the channel so we can give you guys even better content, link will also be in the description box down below. We have like spice challenges where I cried on camera. We have deleted episodes, so we have a ton of content there for you guys. With that, MVs will also be in the description down below. I forgot about that part. 6 weeks. I'm a little rusty. So with that, we will see you guys next week.
Bye.